She had one rule that nobody in her profession could understand. She never took the living. She only took the already missing, the already gone. At first it sounded ridiculous. After all, how do you kidnap someone who has already disappeared? But for years, it worked. Missing people were invisible. Nobody looked for them anymore. No active investigations, no media attention, no pressure, just easy money. And because of that strange rule, Nora, the collector, survived longer than almost anyone else in the business. For 9 years, that rule kept her invisible. Until the night she took someone who was never supposed to be found. That one assignment changed everything. It arrived just after midnight. No name, no explanation, just a photograph, a location, a file, and a payment double her normal rate. That should have been the first warning, because nobody pays double for a missing person. The target was a man named Daniel Reed, officially missing for 6 months. 3 days later, the collector found Daniel living in a forgotten neighborhood on the edge of a city, 200 kilometers away. He was using a fake name, working temporary jobs, keeping his head down, living like a man who didn't want to be noticed. She watched him for 2 weeks, mapped his routine, found the gap. Wednesday mornings, same route, same time. Always alone. On the second Wednesday, Nora moved. She was good at this, the best, some said. Clean approach, controlled environment, 0 witnesses, and yet. When Daniel noticed the kidnapper approaching, he didn't run, he didn't panic, he didn't even look surprised. He looked at her with the steady eyes of a man who had been expecting exactly this for a very long time. Then he said something chilling.
That took longer than I expected.
The kidnapper froze. In 9 years, nobody had ever said that. Most people begged. Most people fought. Daniel acted like he had been waiting. Minutes later, he was sitting in the back of a van. But the strange behavior didn't stop. As the vehicle moved through the city, Daniel quietly asked,
How much are they paying you?
She ignored him. A few moments later, Daniel spoke again.
Whatever it is, it's not enough.
For the first time, something felt wrong. Very wrong. Then the kidnapper's phone vibrated. An unknown message appeared. It contained only 6 words. Do not complete the delivery. Her heart skipped a beat. Nobody knew about this job. Nobody. Yet somehow, someone was watching. Before she could process it, a second message arrived. You are transporting the wrong man. Now she was confused. She glanced in the mirror at the figure in the back of the van. Photo matched. File matched. Everything matched. So what did they mean? But she kept driving. Because the collector had a rule about anonymous messages, too. She didn't follow instructions from people she couldn't see. That rule, like the one before it, was about to cost her everything. An hour later, she arrived at the drop location, an abandoned industrial yard. The yard was dark, silent, exactly as described in the file. Nora parked, scanned the perimeter. Nothing moved. She had been to drop locations that felt wrong before. She had walked away from 2 of them in 9 years. This one felt clean, empty. At least it appeared empty. Then black SUVs rolled out of the darkness. 1, 2, 3, 4. The buyer stepped out, looked at Daniel, and immediately went pale. The reaction wasn't relief. It was fear, pure fear. The buyer stared at Daniel as if he had seen a ghost. Then he shouted,
Abort the transfer!
The kidnapper blinked. Abort? Nobody aborted transfers, especially not after paying in advance. But before anyone could ask questions, chaos erupted. Gunfire exploded across the yard. Vehicles accelerated. Men started shouting. And within seconds, the entire operation collapsed into panic. Nora didn't hesitate. She grabbed Daniel, looked him directly in the eyes for the first time.
Now, run!
He was already moving. Bullets tore through metal behind them. Neither of them stopped moving. They jumped fences, cut through alleyways, disappeared into the maze of abandoned warehouses surrounding the district. Only when they finally reached cover did the she demand answers. Who was Daniel Reed? The answer was worse than anything he expected, because Daniel Reed had never gone missing. He had been erased. There was a difference. Missing people could be found. Erased people could not. Years earlier, Daniel had uncovered information connected to one of the most powerful individuals in the country. A man whose influence stretched through corporations, law enforcement, media, and government. Instead of killing Daniel, they did seem things smarter. They removed him, every document, every account, every employment record, every trace, gone. Within weeks, it was as if Daniel Reed had never existed. The powerful man had perfected a different kind of murder. Not of the body, but of identity. And for 6 months, the system worked perfectly. Until somebody made a mistake. Somehow, Daniel's file ended up inside the network used by professional kidnappers. And the moment the kidnapper accepted the assignment, the powerful man's secret operation was exposed. The buyer wasn't trying to purchase Daniel. He was trying to recover him before anyone else discovered the truth. That's why the transfer was aborted. That's why armed teams appeared. And that's why everyone was suddenly hunting them. Not because Daniel was dangerous, but because Daniel was evidence. The kidnapper finally understood. For years, she thought she was exploiting missing people. Now she realized someone had been exploiting her. Every assignment, every target, every disappearance. Someone higher up had been feeding her jobs, using her as a cleanup tool, a ghost collector, a woman who unknowingly helped erase people from society. The realization hit like a punch to the stomach, but there was no time to think. The warehouse doors exploded inward. The hunt had resumed. Flashlights swept across the darkness. Footsteps echoed everywhere, dozens of them. The kidnapper looked at Daniel. Daniel looked back, and for the first time all night, he smiled. Not because they were safe, because they finally understood the game. They were no longer hunter and target. Now they were both prey. Together they escaped through the rear of the warehouse moments before armed teams flooded the building. But as they disappeared into the night, something even more terrifying happened. The kidnapper checked her phone. Her banking app was gone. Her accounts no longer existed. Her identification records were disappearing, one by one. The same thing that happened to Daniel was happening to her. Daniel stared at the screen, then quietly said,
They're not chasing me anymore.
The kidnapper looked up.
What do you mean?
Daniel's expression turned grim, because he already knew the answer.
They've started erasing you.
A solemn look dawned on her face, not of fear, but of reality. The number of people she had moved in 9 years sat in her chest, like something she could not put down and could not carry. She didn't say it out loud. Some numbers are too heavy for words. She pocketed the phone, looked at Daniel.
How long do we have?
Daniel thought for exactly 1 second.
Until they decide erasing isn't enough.
And in the darkness behind them, the hunt continued. Somewhere in the city that night, Two people who no longer existed moved through streets that had no record of them, no names, no accounts, no history, no proof they had ever been there. Just like the people Nora had spent 9 years moving.